Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of cryptocurrency arbitrage trading. Please have a look at the links in the description below and give me the thumbs up. I have mentioned in the previous video that the funding is going positive on the ETHUSD. Someone was buying a lot. So as the price started going up, I must admit that I have done something unconventional. So I was buying small amounts and hoping to push the price a little bit higher up and then sell into the bids of the market maker. And let's go to the trades. So I've been submitting these small orders and it did really push the price up. However, it didn't really create a large premium, but it did create a significant one. And the small problem is that I've created the lunch for myself, but someone else ate it. So it was at I'll show you which point. Yeah, it was at this point when there was a significant premium, and I was hoping to capture it, and then someone else captured it. So they came with 150k order and just sold it, and then someone else came and sold it. So and then someone sold this is around 200k. I think what has happened was there was already a premium, and then Ethereum was spiking, Bitcoin was spiking, so I decided to first close part of these ETHUSD future. And from experience I had a hint that doing this will push the swap price up. So I suspect that the entity who is market making on the Ethereum USD future is hedging on the Ethereum USD swap. Whether it works or not, I suspect it doesn't work for them particularly well. But I think this is what happened. So by closing this, I have generated large amount of buys here on this side, and then I've kind of bought a little bit that has pushed the premium to the upside, and I've created this opportunity that I could have captured these, but I didn't. So because all the stuff has pushed the funding up a lot, and the cost of holding this position is 1 point something Bitcoin per 8 hours, my hand has been forced, so I have to close at least part of this position. So 500k would be a good sell. So how about we sell part of it? Well, I'm afraid that if I sell part of it, then the rest of the offer will be gone. So 480k it is. Well, this is not the most profitable move, but yeah, I could have closed this at a much better price if I were not particularly greedy, and if I didn't kind of position myself for a pump, which didn't really happen. My closing of the ETHUSDM was at around 248, and the price for that contract is 246. So that's at a small loss. So let's close that. 200. Best to do that before the funding. And are we hedged? Yeah, we are pretty much hedged. So now you can see that all these market makers have shifted, and now they are selling. However, I think the premium will still remain on the high side, and the funding will still remain positive. How do we do with the position limits, and how much margin did we free up by this move? I remember in the past each of these positions was was worth around $2 million, so they had pretty high risk limits. Now is 100 BTC the baseline risk limit? I don't think so. I think that the risk limit, the first risk limit is 50 Bitcoin, and then incrementally, yeah, and then the risk up goes, well, the risk goes up every 50 Bitcoins. Okay, yeah, we could have done this a little bit more profitably, but hey, we need to avoid that funding at any cost. I mean, it's still a big hit. It's 243. Yeah, so the funding should be more or less neutral in the future. Fine, I'll come back with a further update. And this is another update. So because I expect the funding on the ETH/USD swap to be very positive, I would like to get rid of this position completely. We have closed majority of it, and I can see the bids are picking up again. I wonder if I close this position, whether this will force the entity who is market making here into, so if I buy this, I wonder whether I will force the entity who sells it to me to buy ETH/USD, and then I'll sell into his bids. So let's test the waters, and let's submit some orders and see what happens. As always, post only will be the cheapest way to submit some orders. Maybe one halfway through, and this is where we need to click post only, so reduce only, to make sure we don't suddenly open a position. This could be a long wait. I'll come back at this with a further update. And here we are in the future. Look what has happened. I have completely closed the ETH/USD future position. I have achieved that mainly by submitting orders, and the market maker has been giving me a fills, which is great. It's very cost efficient from the fee perspective. But look what has happened on the ETH/USD swap. There were no bids in close proximity to the index price, but now they are there. So I am very convinced that whoever gave us the fills, so whoever sold those futures into our position, is now hedging and trying to buy here. So this brings up an opportunity where you can just buy a lot in here, and then afterwards you sell here. So you don't do that in the reverse order. However, it could work in the reverse order as well. But it looks like this contract is way more liquid, and doing some big orders here might not have everything arbitraged here. But this is a small contract, so it looks like everything from this small contract, or majority of stuff from this contract, is being arbitraged to the bigger one here. So at some point we'll just have to probably market sell, but let's hold on for the time being. We have 350,000 contracts here. I think this price would be a decent fill, and reduce only. I need to make sure I have cancelled all the ETH/USD swap orders. Yeah, so these got cancelled automatically. So maybe we'll get a fill on this one. Fine. I'll come back later. It looks like our ETH USD position is more or less closed. And here is another update. It looks like someone ate my lunch again. Someone sold these into the market, so into that market maker, unfortunately. So let's see what we can do about canceling the orders and just closing this all together against the market, just in case the market maker decides not to offer all this. So first of all, I'm not sure whether you knew about this, but it is possible to wash trade on BitMEX. I mean, yeah, trade against yourself on the same account. I've discovered this accidentally. I've never tried this, so let's cancel this. So, well, I will not prove that, but so that is cancelled. But if I submit a hidden order and then another order which matches it, it will just get matched. So nothing really happens, but BitMEX collects the fees. So how about we submit this, maybe wait for some, yeah, you see, like clockwork, the orders were not here, but once I've submitted it, some bots are populating all this. Anyway, we don't care about the tiny amounts. We care about just market selling into these orders. I'll give it just a minute. Maybe these big orders will shift a little bit. Now this position we have opened just because there was a nice discount and funding which was favorable. So we've opened a long. Now it's time to close it because it's no longer an opportunity. And this is our other leg. So let's do the same thing. Okay, and let's just assume these will fill. They are so small that if the price escapes, it doesn't really matter. So we are okay chasing the price in this case. Nothing shifted here. The index price is 243. I think it's a fair game to sell at 244 or high-ish 243. So let's cancel this and let's close our position, which would be losing 0.6 Bitcoin per 8 hours. So we have freed up a lot of margin and we can look into other things. Thank you very much for watching. Please give me thumbs up, comment and subscribe, and have a look at the links in the description below. By opening a new account with these links, you will get a decent discount on the fees, and I only recommend good exchanges which I trust, and there's only one which I don't. It's Bitsy. However, they do have attractive arbitrage opportunities. This is why it's there, but I fully disclose that my trust in them is limited.